very generously demanding, do this, do this. I think this part of it is in the hands of the nephrologist. Because at the end of the day, a regular Indian citizen, God is in form of a doctor. If you say something,
Dog also.
if you say something, it's like Devavaku. And as an educated caregiver, I'm telling you, if the nephrologist is not able to get the patient to do something, then I don't think it's convincing enough. I'm sorry, but I really believe when I say this. So you have to make it mandatory. If you meet me next time, you've got to meet the dietitian, else you're going to go down the drain. And the moment the doctor says this, trust me, the patient will go running and finding the nephrologist.
Especially in children, it's very important. They have different calories for different age groups and proteins and everything, and they have some special diets, etc. So dietitian plays a very, very important role, and without them, I don't think I could, carry out my practice.
Thank you, Dr. Akila. I've just taken the liberty to say this because I've got...
We need to understand, see, there is not general dietitian. See, they actually don't know, in my opinion, unless they're trained in nephrology, like Swati is trained. And because, like, invariably, what you say kidney problem, there's a low protein diet. My vegetarian patient doesn't take dal and he's become weak. I don't think in India, low protein diet is needed. That's I mean, all nephrologists say. But Swati, because she's trained, but if the person is not trained, they'll invariably put them into so low. The Jains especially, they are already on low protein diet.
Correct.
Because they eat no protein.
Swati, I have one second, one last thing. I have a proposal for you. You should create an app wherein the patient, will pay a nominal amount or something. So whenever, before he's eating, what's the kind of potassium, what's the kind of phosphorus, what's the kind of calories. If you can work with some sort of a computer guy who can create an app, and specifically for renal diet, that would be great.
I'm going to pause.
Diabetes fellows have done a great job. Diabetes have done a good job. Dietitians keep calling you.
I have no doubt of it, but I'm going to pause the discussion.
Your support, because we do not have labeling practices in place.
Yes,
That's a huge
We will get back to that. We have Dr. Arun Gupta, for those of you who don't know, who's doing fantastic work across the country. We can connect on that. But I think it is not very often that we have a government representative seated here so humbly, so lovingly, and willing to hear us out. And it's very important to honor that time. Yes, and I genuinely mean this, sir. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us. And I know we have somebody over here, but I think the main point of having Bangalore Kidney Foundation is because I thought, do you all work with the government already?
We do.
We do. So great. I think having a representative from Bangalore itself will become a point of contact for doctors, the government, and foundations like us. Of course, KWF is always there to support. But if I'm going to give you just a minute to talk about the free dialysis you're doing, and then we'll have our minister close and respond to all the questions you'll put across.
Thank you so much. We do 50,000 dialysis a year, out of which more than 50% is for free, and all women are treated for free in our center, irrespective of their financial situation. And our belief is that we don't want them to come to our center eventually. So we want to promote transplant. So it's also very difficult for patients to enroll into transplant because they have their own fears of financial burden, of success of the transplant, and also from the donor side, because transplant means two people. So how do we finance them, and how do we make sure at least for that 1 year after the transplant they lead the proper life as prescribed by the medical fraternity. So we would also need some government support in the transplant activities, because that's where you said it, we are at a dead end. Either it's dialysis or transplant. Dialysis is a lifelong situation, but transplant is the exit for these patients. And we've also seen that kidney disease is actually there is less awareness about kidney disease. So we have to increase the awareness of that. And it's actually worse than a heart disease or a lung disease or any other disease. The life of a kidney patient is actually really a wasted life. So we want to bring that life back to our fold. That's
Thank
what we strive for.
Thank you, Chandra. And for our doctors who are present over here, the media is present over here, these are our partners in Bangalore, Bangalore Kidney Foundation. Please follow up there with them, because these stories should meet and extend to the extreme ends of Karnataka. I think they're doing a fantastic work, and let this not be a one-off. This is for my respective friends from the media. This should not be a one-off meeting. This should be a start to a new journey. And with that, we've heard from our panelists, but then Mr. Dinesh.
Thank you. So, firstly, I think word of appreciation for the kidney warriors for the tremendous work that they are doing, and also congratulations to them for having brought out this second edition of this book, which looks into various aspects of kidney treatment, care, and also the kind of situations that people suffering from this go through. So I think it's filled with many testimonials and case studies and all that. So it's a wonderful thing that they are doing, and I'm sure that this will really help in people to bring about greater awareness and also to see how we can improve the existing systems. And of course, there are many established experts from the field who are there in this panel discussion, and it was indeed a very good discussion, and they were raising very many relevant points, and I didn't interrupt any of one of them, because if I get into a conversation, this program will go on for 2 hours. So I just stayed quiet, so that I also have got a time limit. I also have to go somewhere else now. So I didn't want to interrupt anybody, so that let them finish whatever they had to say. So many relevant and many important issues have been raised, and which we are also well aware of. Of course, the first issue which was raised by Dr. Sundar and Dr. Arvind also, about the impact of diabetes and hypertension, and this is a well-established fact. So the thing is, the biggest problem is how do we screen them, how do we treat them, how do we get into the preventive. In fact, I think we are launching a very ambitious program, Karnataka government, which will be done on the 24th. And this program is a highly ambitious one that we are doing. And it is, in fact, exactly what you people have said over here, that we will be screening the entire population above 30 years, going door to door, house to house, checking everyone. And we've established certain protocols of how to diagnose whether they have diabetes, whether they have hypertension, and what kind of medication needs to be given. So a lot of process and thought process has gone into it. And on the 24th of this month, we have called the program, this project, Griha Arogya, that is home health. So Chief Minister will be launching it. So that is one part of it, screening it. The second part is already, again, all of you have said, that we screen them, we test them, and then what? We may give them medicines for 15 days, something, and then after that they take, and then they forget about it. Some follow it up, some don't. So now what we have done is we are ensuring to them delivery of the medicines to them, to all the people who are diagnosed across the state. So for hypertension and diabetes, we will be free delivery of medicines either to their households or to the nearest. We have a lot of sub-centers, so they can come once a month, pick up whatever stock they need, and they can take it back. Or if they are old, or if they are aged, or if they are are not able to come, our people ourselves will go there and give it to them at their house. So it is a huge program, and I'm sure that this will have a long-term consequence. Nothing, I think, in the short term, but if it is done successfully, and it will be implemented across the state, and I think as we implement it, we will learn more how to make it more effective. And I think that is the one way forward, I think, that we have devised to see that people are diagnosed and people are treated. So even if we achieve about 60 to 70% of this, I think it will be a tremendous success. Because looking at the figures, we know that, like just now you said, nobody gets checked, and even if they get checked, they don't get treated. So that is one of the things that we are going to be doing. So that is one thing. The second thing, of course, is issues concerning, you spoke about transplant and how we can treat them and all those things. Now, as far as treating goes, we have last year we increased the number of dialysis centers to more than, earlier it was 170, now we've got about more than 220 free dialysis centers across the state in all talukas and in all urban areas. So we are giving free dialysis. We've got more than I think close to 850 machines, and we also converted all the machines. Earlier it was multi, now we all got single-use dialyzers across the state. So that is something that we've done now. So it helps in easier care for the people and less infections. So we've switched over to single-use dialysis. Also, last month we came out with another, we approved, the cabinet approved it, which we had proposed that anyone who is doing charitable work in giving free dialysis to the public, we will give from our side 500 rupees per person, per dialysis. So there are many charitable institutions who are doing for people, and to them we will give from our side 500 rupees to help them to run it more efficiently. So, and along with, so to promote it for people who are doing it, and also certain other hospitals who want to run, especially in the our Kalyan Karnataka region, we have now opened up for even private hospitals for them to, and we will support them also. So that's another initiative that we have taken, and so those are the two major things that we are doing. Now, apart from that, there are issues concerning what you have raised regarding the pediatric. Of course, we've got the Indira Gandhi Institute, which handles the Institute of Nephrology, and Indira Gandhi Institute, I think, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So they are treating people with, and it's also a center for excellence for all rare diseases and all that. We are using that. So I think we can look at your recommendations. How we can probably slot the child at maybe give it some sort of preference. But if you can give your suggestions in writing,
I will give my suggestion.
you can just mail it also, or you can whatever, and